Meet Dana and Priya. They're both 30 years old. They live in the same city, work similar jobs, and take home almost identical salaries of $72,000 a year. Both need a car to get to work, and both have just paid off the last of their student loans. Financially, they are basically twins. Personality-wise, not so much. Dana likes things new. She likes that new car smell, the feeling of driving something nobody else has put their coffee spills into, and the peace of mind that comes with a full warranty and zero mechanical surprises. Priya couldn't care less about any of that. To her, a car is a box that moves her from point A to point B, and she'd rather spend her money on almost anything else. She wants something reliable, paid off, and forgettable. Eventually, those two very different attitudes toward cars lead them to two very different financial decisions. Dana decides to lease a new car every 3 years. Priya decides to buy a used car and drive it until it physically refuses to continue. And for the next 15 years, we're going to follow them both. Every lease payment, every repair bill, every trade-in, every dollar Priya doesn't spend on car payments and actually invests. Then at the end, we'll see where two people who started with the exact same income, the exact same job, but chose two completely different paths on four wheels actually ended up. Let's begin. Dana walks into a dealership and leaves 3 hours later with a brand new sedan. It smells like plastic and ambition. Her lease is a standard 36-month deal. $2,000 due at signing and $380 a month after that. No down payment beyond the initial fees. Low mileage limits she promises herself she'll respect. And the comforting knowledge that if anything breaks, it's not her problem. It's the dealership's problem. Or more accurately, the manufacturer's problem. Or most accurately, a problem that simply does not exist for the next 3 years. Priya takes a completely different route. She spends a few weekends scrolling listings, gets a mechanic to inspect a few candidates, and eventually buys a 4-year-old sedan with 45,000 miles on it for $14,000 cash. No loan, no lease, no monthly payment to anyone. She hands over a check, signs a title, and drives away in a car that already smells like someone else's life, which she is completely fine with. On day one, Dana looks like the one enjoying herself. She has a car with a touchscreen, a warranty booklet, and that new car smell everyone pretends not to care about. Priya has a car with 45,000 miles already on the odometer and a slightly suspicious stain on the passenger seat that she has decided not to investigate. One car feels exciting, the other feels like a Tuesday. But building wealth isn't about what feels exciting. It's about what actually keeps money in your pocket. During the first 3 years, everything goes according to plan for Dana. Every month, $380 leaves her account automatically. No oil changes to think about, no surprise repair bills, no wondering if that noise under the hood means anything serious. Whenever something feels slightly off, she takes it to the dealership, and it's usually covered under warranty. It's a smooth, predictable, stress-free experience, and Dana genuinely enjoys it. She takes pride in always driving something current, something that looks good pulling into the office parking lot. Priya's first 3 years look very different. Her car runs fine, mostly. She changes the oil herself in her driveway because she watched a video once and now considers herself basically a mechanic. At around the 2-year mark, the car needs new brake pads, about $220 installed. Then a battery, $140. Nothing dramatic, just the ordinary cost of owning something that already has some miles behind it. Car payment eating into her budget. But there's also no guarantee about what the car will need next. 3 years pass. Let's compare where they actually stand. Dana's lease is up. Over those 36 months, she's paid $2,000 at signing, plus $380 a month, which comes to roughly $15,680 total. At the end of it, she owns absolutely nothing. No car, no equity, no asset to show for 3 years of payments. Just an expired agreement and the option to do it all over again. Which, naturally, she does. She walks back into the dealership and leases a new one under similar terms. Priya, meanwhile, has spent about $14,000 up front and another roughly $600 in maintenance and repairs over those 3 years, bringing her 3-year total to about $14,600. But unlike Dana, she still has the car. It's worth somewhat less than what she paid, maybe around $10,000 now, but it's hers. No payments, no expiring agreement, nothing to renew. And here's where the real difference begins. Priya never had a monthly car payment to begin with, so there was never really extra money freed up the way there would be for someone who paid off a loan. But compared to Dana's $380 a month disappearing into a lease that builds no equity, Priya's monthly cost, spread out, comes to roughly $17 a month in maintenance. That gap, roughly $363 a month, is enormous, and it's about to matter a lot. Priya decides to invest that difference. Every month, she puts $363 into a total stock market index fund. Not because she's a genius investor, but because she simply doesn't have a car payment competing for that money. She sets up an automatic transfer and mostly forgets about it, the same way Dana mostly forgets about her lease payment, except one of these habits is quietly building wealth and the other is quietly building nothing. Dana's second lease begins, same structure, $2,000 due at signing, $380 a month for another 36 months. Some dealerships offer slightly better deals for returning customers, some don't. For simplicity, let's assume her costs stay roughly the same. Over years 4 through 6, she pays another approximately $15,680, again ending the term owning nothing. Priya's car, now 6 or 7 years old, needs a bit more attention. A new set of tires costs her about $600. An air conditioning repair costs another $450. Nothing catastrophic, but the bills are becoming slightly more frequent as the car ages. Over these 3 years, she spends roughly $1,800 in total maintenance and repairs, or about $50 a month. Meanwhile, she continues investing the difference between that and what Dana is spending. Her monthly investment climbs to around $380 as her own cost of ownership stays low. By year 6, the numbers start to separate in a serious way. Dana has now spent roughly $31,360 total on 2 consecutive leases and owns nothing. No car, no equity, no asset. Just the ongoing option to keep leasing forever, which, to be fair, is exactly the plan. Priya has spent about $14,000 on the car itself and roughly $2,400 in total maintenance across 6 years, for a total of about $16,400. She still owns the car, now worth maybe $7,000 to $8,000. But the bigger number is her investment account. Having invested a growing amount each month, averaging somewhere around $370 a month,